game. It's a rich thing.
Welcome everyone to Pivotal Stats, where we talk about data analysis techniques, business intelligence platforms, and much more. So let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to talk about operators in Python. Now essentially there are 7 different kinds of operators which you can use in Python. These are 7 different categories of operators. That is arithmetic, assignment, comparison, logical, identity, membership, and bitwise. But because this is a basic introduction into Python, we would not be covering all 7 of them. We will only be covering the first 4. The remaining 3 we will cover in future videos as and when required. Now just to recap what we learned in arithmetic operators in the previous video, we basically have 7 different arithmetic operators that we usually use. First one is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponents, modulus, and floor division. Okay, and you already saw how we used all of them in certain scenarios in our last video. Just in case you have not viewed that video, I would suggest that you go ahead and check that out first before watching this one. Okay, now moving on to the second type of operators that we have, which is assignment operators. While we were learning about the basic in our first video, you've already seen me using one type of assignment operator, which is an equal to sign. Okay, so we saw how we assigned a value to a variable using a equal to sign like this. And when you execute this code, that value of 5 will be assigned to the variable x that we have written. But there are other assignment operators as well, which we should understand. Okay, the first one is, let's say you want to add certain value to a variable. So now my variable x has a value of 5. You want to add another 5 to that variable. Okay, so one common thing that we can do is we can just write x equal to x plus 5. But an efficient programmer would write it in a different way because this is a long statement to write. Instead, we can write it like this: a plus sign equal to and then 5. The length of the code that we've written has reduced substantially. Now I'm gonna run this, and if I want to check the value of x here, this will give me 10. Okay, which is exactly what we wanted. Similar to addition, we also have subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's see how. So let's say I want to subtract 3 from my x variable. So I'm going to say minus sign equal to and 3. And when I execute this and check the value of x here, it will give me 7, which is 10 minus 3. Similarly, let's look at multiplication. So I'm going to say x multiplication sign equal to, and let's say I want to multiply the x value by 2, and if I check the value of x here, it's 14. Okay, perfect. Now let's say again I want to divide the value of x by 7. So I'm gonna say x division sign, which is a forward slash, equal to sign and then 7. Now the value of x should be 2. Perfect. Now apart from assigning an addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division to it, we can also perform this same thing for a modulus, a floor division, and an exponent. So this is how you do it, similar to what we did for other operators. Now let's say I've created a new variable and I'm assigning a new value to it, let's say 13. Now I want to identify the modulus of 13 when I divide it by 4. And if I check the value of y here now, it says 1. Similarly, I'm going to assign the value of y as 13 again. And this time I'm going to say, give me a floor division of this with 4. And now if I check the value of y here, it's going to give me 3, which has rounded down that division to the nearest integer. Similarly, the last thing is applying exponent. So I want to see a value which is y to the power of 3. So I'm going to say like this. And if I check the value of y now, it is 27. So this is how you apply assignment operators. Now there are a few more operators within the assignment operator category. However, we will not be covering that because I don't want to complicate things for you at this stage. And whenever we will require those kind of operators for assignment, we will use them and I'll explain them to you at a later stage. But for now, I think these operators will be more than enough. Now moving on to the next category of operators, which is comparison operators. But before we dig into the comparison operators, it is important to understand one more data type within Python which is called as Boolean. Now up until now we have seen two data types, which are numbers and strings. This is the third data type, which is called Boolean. Now Boolean can have only two outputs, either it's a true or it's a false. Now we'll see how this Boolean data type will come into action while we are using comparison operator. So let's see. The first type of comparison operator is a double equal to sign. So let's say you want to check if 6 is equal to 5 or not. Okay, now I know that this is very straightforward. You would not need to check it through an operator whether 6 is equal to 5 or not, but I just wanted to show you how the output will come. So let's say we check in Python whether 6 is equal to 5 or not using a double equal to, and when we check the output it says false. However, if I say check and tell me if 6 is equal to 6 or not, then it will give me true. The second operator is not equal to. In case you want to check if one value is not equal to another, then it will provide you the final output. And the way you write it is like this. Let's take the same example here, 6. Now instead of double equal to sign, I'm gonna say an exclamation mark and then an equal to sign and then 6. So here trying to see if 6 is not equal to 6. The output is false because 6 is actually equal to 6, and here we're checking whether 6 is not equal to 6. Okay, so obviously that statement is false, hence the output is also false. Now the next operator within this category is greater than. So if I want to check if 6 is greater than 4, it will give me true, and vice versa as well. If I enter a greater value on the right hand side, then it will give me false. Next one is less than. So if I say if 6 is less than 2, then it will give me false. Next we have greater than or equal to. So I want to check if 6 is greater than or equal to 6, then this should give me true. Although 6 is not greater than 6, but it is equal to 6. So that's why it's giving me true. And the last one is less than or equal to. So if 7 is less than or equal to 5, then it should give me false, because 7 is actually neither less than 5 nor equal to 5. Now the last category of operators that we would cover in this video is called logical operators, and this one will be used a lot when we are moving forward with our basic Python training, and we will get into applying conditions in your code. The first operator in the logical operator category is AND. So let's say I'm writing 5 is equal to 5 and 8 is greater than 10. Okay, now in this case the left side statement is true, however the right hand statement is false. 8 is not greater than 10. Okay, but when you apply an AND condition, AND simply means that if both the statements that you've written are true, then only it will return true, but if either one of them is false, then the output would be false. So ideally, because we have written AND here, this line of code should return a false. So let's see. And if I write it like this, equal to 5 and 4 is less than 10, then this should return a true. Okay. Moving on to the next operator in this category is OR. And what OR means is, if any one of them is true, it will return a true. Else, if both of them are false, it will return a false. So let's see what I mean. So I'm gonna say 10 is greater than 3 or 5 is equal to 6. Now if you see, the statement on my left is true, but the statement on my right is false. So this should ideally give me true because one of them is true. So as expected, it has given me true. Now the last type of operator in this category is NOT. Now what NOT does is it reverses the output that you got using your logic. So let's say I know that 10 is greater than 3, but if I apply a NOT in front of that logic like this, then it will give me a false value. Similarly, if I have a false statement, it will return back as true. So let's say I'm going to say NOT 6 is greater than 10, it should return a true. So I hope you understood all the operators that we have done so far, because we will be using these concepts very often in upcoming videos and our data analysis purposes. So it's crucial that you practice and you understand all of these. So that is it for today. If you're liking my content, then please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell icon so that you don't miss any video that I upload on this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.